so much. Please continue to help us to share and like and what is this called? Subscribe. We are going home. Devil has no choice. Devil has no choice than to back off. I was listening to a guy that said that we should tell people, you cannot have our sons, you cannot have our husbands, you cannot have what God has given to us. So please help us to continue to share. Our people are getting the information. We want to thank those doing work at home. We do want to acknowledge that we're not the only one doing this work. You know, we're part of groups that are working hard to ensure that our people live with dignity. And we're not even asking for much. We want to be able to live with dignity, take care of our children, watch our children have their children, be a grandmother, a grandfather, live in a peaceful world, which is what is the English word I'm trying to use? Possible, which is possible. But some people decided that it will not be possible for us because they want more and more and more. And that goes in line with our topic today, rejecting new colonial shackles. Rejecting new colonial shackles. We know about our late brother, Dr. Obidaya. Don't quote me. I can't say his name right.
Yeah, Melafia, Obidaya Melafia.
So, yeah, the former deputy governor of CBN, he said that the 1999 constitution is based on a lie, and it is a fraud, just like we've been lamenting on this platform forever and a day. And is that 1999 that is a pressure cooker that will keep us where we are if we do not release the pressure. He went further to say that a fraudulent constitution in the hands of people with hidden agendas, loyal to foreigners, and unpatriotic to their people has nothing good to offer us as people. We've told you guys over and over again that the 1999 Constitution is an issue. It will never allow you to move forward. It will never allow you to progress. It doesn't matter who you put in the steering wheel. Africa is in the midst of long-awaited revolution as she struggles to rid herself of all shackles and manacles of colonial criminals and imperialists. This has divided the world into those afflicted with what we call hyper-normalization and those still able to reason like real humans. By the way, we posted a video on our platform last week called Hypernormalization. Please watch that video so you can understand what this huge corporation as well as the political leaders are doing to the people. So this hypernormalization is a 2016 BBC documentary by a British filmmaker, Adam Curtis. This guy argues that the government of the West have since 1970 built an illusion of fake world run by make-believe huge corporations and kept stable by selfish and greedy politicians who think only about themselves, their fatal ambition to rule, who think only about to dominate, deceive, and manipulate people. To those who fail to look deeper, the things seem to be out of control and inexplicable. Right now, it looks like we are living in a time of great uncertainty and confusion, but also of great opportunity to be free. So we should not look at this time as a difficult time, but a way to challenge ourselves to get what we want. While 14 African countries under the yoke of France seem to be breaking loose, of course, our so-called Nigeria went back to exactly where she was in 1967, when she was contemplating whether to fight Biafra or not. We know that our so-called President God-fearing Gowon chose to do the unthinkable. He committed genocide and killed about 3.5 million of Biafran people, just like our so-called illegitimate President Tinubu is seeking validation from the West. So he's more interested and willing to protect the interests of the West, especially the Britain, the one who set up the enterprise called Nigeria. Gowon signed every document that British placed before him that allowed him to kill our people. So today we'll continue to connect the dots for the indigenous peoples of Nigeria, who must be better equipped and well prepared to take back their sovereignty from the flesh eaters, bloodsuckers, and the vultures of the West, as well as their internal colonizers. So it's important for us to understand what is happening. We know that everything that is happening around us is based on the 1999 Constitution. We know that all your woes, all the things that the pastor has been telling you, oh, it's your mother, it's your sister, it's your neighbor, it's your friend holding you down, has nothing to do with that. That is the 1999 Constitution that is pressurizing you. Think about since 1999, how many good governance have you achieved? None. But you've been going to election every year. So until we identify and remove this shackle of 1999 Constitution that is operating in the name of neocolonialism, we will be running in circles. We're not here once again for competition. We're here to be informed, well informed, so that we can make an informed decision. Go ahead, my sister.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and play you one of Nina's videos for you to understand what we're saying about 1999 Constitution. We know you see these videos, but the more you look at it, the more you get the details, because some people don't understand. Some people say, oh, how can you say the constitution of a country is fraudulent? But it is fraudulent. It's not me saying. If you know what constitution is, constitution means the constituents of a country. We make a document that will guide them in the relationship with one another, especially in our own place where we have diverse ethnic nations. So we need a constitution accepted by, done by all, accepted by all. It will stop all the killings and all the problems we're having with one another, because then we have negotiated and we have discussed and agreed on the terms we used to live. This is just common sense. So please, you don't need to be a professor, a doctor, an engineer to understand this simple thing. It's just for you to use what my people call akonuche, sense. Please go ahead.
As darkness continues to cover Nigeria, things getting worse and worse, Ninas had repeatedly told the public, demonstrated that the unitary constitution of Nigeria is the source of all the misery, is the source of all the instability, is the source of all of what we have been lamenting, whether it's the killings or infrastructural decay or corruption or impunity, everything. Therefore, we invite you to listen to other voices that are not necessarily associated with Nina, so that we can see that there's a consensus that is sufficient to lead us to where we solve this problem now before it consumes us. Because if we don't solve that problem, it will consume Nigeria, and that means Nigerians are only going to go from where they are now into the inferno that Nigeria will become if the problem is not solved. Let's listen to those other voices, and we come down to what shall we do. There may be some of them who will even tell us. Let's take a listen.
49 people selected to write a constitution, wrote a constitution. 40 people in the Supreme Military Council promulgated a constitution for us. Under General Abubakar, government in which I served, I was in executive council. I never saw the draft constitution. And I was Minister of Information. It was my responsibility to publicize it to the country. On the day of swearing in of Obasanjo, we didn't have a copy of the constitution. I didn't know who was printing it. And my ministry was supposed to pay for the printing. And Obasanjo was sworn on a constitution that had not been read by anybody. And the National Assembly could not be constituted until 4 days after he swore in it, because there was no clean copy of the constitution. You cannot build on quicksand. And the country cannot live on falsehood.
Dare to tell this nation today that this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68. on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list? In this chamber, we try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. Every crime is local. And the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria summoned the courage to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves.
So I'm saying that the first problem is that if this country wants to work for everybody, is to look at this constitution and say, this constitution, you have done your worst. Because after all of the people that have been saying, well, they went around the country before the constitution. No, they are liars. The military cannot give us a constitution. It's a constitution produced under the army green. So when people talk about this constitution as something that we need, I tell people, why are people talking as if the basic education and knowledge that you have is lost on them? How can the military give us a constitution? If we told you that the military cannot bear rule, how then are you still using the constitution given to it by the military? Because according to law, they shouldn't be in office in the first place. So everything that comes with the military, you have to try and set it aside. So the first thing we need to do is to sit that constitutional conference or sovereign national conference that they are afraid of. We will have it. We will have all that they are afraid of. We will have a constitution. I'm a patriot. I have recommended on different platforms, even in the international media, we cannot have this country break up. So what will make this country work for all is to first of all throw away this wicked paperwork, burn it and throw it out, and sit. We need about 6, 8 months or even 1 year to get a proper document that addresses majority problem, minority problem, and the constitution must also make it sacrosanct. For instance, we are going into an election. We had our last census 2006, disputed census. We don't even know the population of the country. We have been dealing with estimates. Right. How do you even solve the problem of the country without data to work with?
Right. What he's saying is relevant, but not in this case. It's relevant when we talk, I don't know when you were there, I want to talk about systems.
Yes, my Lord. If I may say something, my Lord, with the greatest respect to my Lord.
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know, okay.
That most of our headache is in the system.
Yes, my Lord. And if I may go further.
And then, well, we will explore that later on when we have this special hearing.
As the court pleases, as the commission pleases. My Lord will even know more when we discuss this exhibit. The most important thing, my Lord, is that some people appear to be too distant for this generation.
Structural, the word is structural injustice.
Yes, my Lord.
I asked people to make their research. I'm conducting mine, and I want to compare your investigations and research with mine. Structural injustice.
Please continue to help us to share.
The headache we have is structural.
Yes, my Lord.
And in the system itself.
Yes, my Lord.
Men will come and go, the system still
remains. Yes, my Lord.
Yeah, that the constitution that we have at present is a fraud. It is a fraud because it starts with we the people. When in fact, you and I did not sit anywhere to design this constitution. By that fact alone, it is based on a lie and it is based on a fraud. In the past, people could ignore that because Olusegun Obasanjo was a fair-minded man and he was a patriot. Because Umaru Yar'Adua of blessed memory was a fair-minded.
All right, we'll stop this video here. We'll post it in its entirety. You know, our people, they will speak half truth because again, they are benefiting from the system. They will speak the truth and mix it. It's like, again, having cereal with rice and ofu egusi you know, for breakfast. So the point that we are trying to make that is that 1999 Constitution is a fraud. And until we take that fraud down, we'll continue to run in circle. We'll continue to cook in a pressure cooker. That's what the so-called Westernization project called it. They say the Nigerian Constitution is a pressure cooker for injustice. So that means people can do things to you. The governor can give himself $20 million when you don't have food to eat. They can buy 50 vehicles for people to follow them behind. They can, you know, destroy our land and then send their children. They get rewarded to send their children overseas to school. They buy homes. They allow them, the Western people allow them to buy homes, you know, in their Westernization countries, and then live over there and then destroy you in your own indigenous land. And then they have access to the Westernization area where they will continue to live their lives. And we're saying enough of that. Enough of giving people the leeway to destroy us as a people. And we claim that they're working for us. We can see they're just, another name for them is just called internal colonizers. They have nothing else to do but to keep us down. So I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint for the day. Please continue to help us to share. Knowledge is power. These people they don't mean well for you, bottom line. They never mean well for you. They don't want you to progress. If you think about it, look at what we have done. We have allowed the Western people to steal from us. We have allowed them to have access to all our resources, and they still unleash terrorism upon us. They still want to destroy our food line so that we will die of hunger, because they want more and more and more. Because we are all sleeping. We are all believing God to do it for us. We are all thinking it's our mother that is holding us down, our sisters that is holding us down. We need to wake up and reject the new colonial shackles. They don't mean well for us. And of course, we cannot move forward without reminding our people that we live in the Osman Danfodio estate. This is just a business partnership. He's the caretaker of the people imprisoned in that territory called Nigeria. That's all. And now his children are taking over. So it's a family business, just like your father will hand over business for you, and then you have your children, they will hand over to the next generation. They tell us every day that they are born to rule, that we are conquered territory. They can do and undo to what? They can, you know, as long as we're in one Nigeria, that the oil in Bayelsa belongs to Jigawa, they can mine their gold and save it for themselves and their 50 wives. And then they will come to our land, take our oils, destroy our land, destroy the environment, and keep it moving, and nobody says a thing. And we are sick of it. We are